All right. So this morning, remember I told you all that you were going to have several guest speakers. Today is going to be the first one. I have Nurse Akilah Hatfield come. Those of you who were in my class last semester, you should remember. She has been a nurse for, hold up. She's been a nurse for a long time. She's going to tell you about her journey. She's going to tell you basically how she got here. And she also is going to talk to you about the importance of mindfulness, you know, how it can lead to burnout. So toward the end, after she speaks, I want you all to ask questions. Even though she's a nurse, those of you who are not pre-nursing majors, you can still ask her questions. And I encourage it because she's been in the medical field for quite some time. So welcome, Nurse Hatfield. Welcome, Nurse Hatfield.
Come on now. I think I look all right this morning. I think I did all right. Somebody saw me put some makeup on in the bathroom, but we ain't gonna get into that right now. Good morning. Good morning. I know who's tired. Be honest. Me too. Okay. So literally my flight got in at like 2:30 this morning. So, and I've been up since yesterday at 8:30 in the morning. So I'm right along with you guys. We're all tired, but we all have a mission to do. We all are on a journey, correct? Y'all all are on your collegiate career journey at this point in time, correct? All right, so good morning, darling. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but good morning. All right, so what I want to start off by saying first is the fact that I am a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 18 years. I have mainly dealt in adult care. Even though we all in this room might be having different career paths, the one thing that we all have in common, that we will all have in common, is customer service. We all got to deal with people, correct? No matter what. And a lot of our paths and careers, we might even intersect and might see each other along the path after getting out of class in school, correct? So the one thing that I want to talk about first and foremost is the fact of just talking about plain old burnout. The fact that we are all tired, that's one sign of burnout, just being physically tired. That's not even talking about the mental aspect. That's not even talking about, like I said, the physical tiredness of just being or just continuously doing things that have to live, that have to survive, that have to take care of somebody else, and then even have to come in here and do for your own stuff, correct? So it just seems like it's a lot, right? Well, I'm here to tell you, it don't get no better. Anybody realize that at this point, that it don't get no better, it doesn't get eased up or anything? And the reason why I'm saying this now is because a lot of times in your profession or in your journey of your profession, you're going to get to that point where you might question the fact that I've been to school, I've done all this, I put all these hours into what I've been wanting to do all my life. And then you get to the point where you may not even want to do that anymore. You start questioning the sheer thing that you have worked so hard and have dedicated so much time to, that you're questioning, like, is this for me? I love nursing. I love the profession of nursing, but I have gotten to a point in my career along the way and have been like, is this really what I want to do? And do I really want to continue to take care of people? Do I really want to continue to invest my time, my energy, my effort into a community or into the community that a lot of times when you, being a nurse, when you see people in the hospital, it's not always because of just acute injury, acute illness. There's going to be chronic on top of acute, meaning that some people are going to be just non-compliant. They're just going to do whatever they want to do. And then when they get sick, you have to take care of them. You have to be the one to be at their bedside and be the one to encourage them, to take their medicine, encourage them to educate themselves on better health, encourage them to just wanting to be healthy. That's strenuous. To continuously have to have somebody or be the person to have to encourage, have to educate, have to be the one to depend on, have to be the one that to be the strong shoulder for somebody to cry on. A lot of times in our paths of, especially in healthcare, you're going to come across people that are in need. They need to listen to somebody. They need a helping hand. So at that point, like, who is the helping hand for the caretaker? Who is the helping hand for the person that is not necessarily in direct contact with patients, but we all deal with people. We all get tired of people and interacting and having to deal and try to figure out how to interact with people. So who are there for us? The whole purpose of all of this is to let you to get you in the frame of mind of nobody's here to help you. This is one of the reasons why I think this is such an awesome experience, and how you have the opportunity to go see a counselor. You have the opportunity to actually do breathing exercises. And these are all fundamental, foundational things that you will need to keep and incorporate this in your everyday life. If you don't make time out for yourself, who's gonna make time out for you? If you're not number one on your list, why do you think that you're gonna be on number one on somebody else's list? You know the old adage, do unto others as you want to be done unto you, something like that. Everybody heard it? Yeah, to the back like that. You heard it before? Some people, think about it. Everybody don't know how to treat themselves well. Some people treat themselves like crap. So do you want those same people treating you the way they treat themselves? Yes or no? So at the end of the day, you have got to be the one to treat yourself well. And with that, it comes off where when you respect yourself, others are going to also respect you as well. Get what I'm saying? Being refreshed, being able to fill your own cup up and then have enough and be filled enough where you can be able to give into the community and give back and do what you need to do to support yourself, support your family, loved ones, or whoever is depending on you. If it's just if not only yourself. At the end of the day, you need to learn how to keep your cup filled. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my journey. So I'll be 45 this year. I have 3 kids. My youngest is 16. My 2 boys are my youngest. They're 19 and 16, and my oldest is 27. That's my girl. So I'm born and raised in New Orleans. And for me, I graduated from Sarah T. Reed. And after that, I had a long journey. I always knew I wanted to be a nurse, but it just really, just trying to go to school and try to take care of a child at such a young age is not always, it wasn't really easy for me, I should say. And then I was also married as well. So I ended up leaving here in 2000, leaving New Orleans, and I moved to Auburn, Alabama. And so I started school out there. And I started school out there about 2000. So I ended up with an associate's in science in 2002, and then associate's in applied science in 2004 with my registered nursing degree. So just to be clear, I'm an associate's degree nurse, but I've been a registered nurse for all of these years. So I just want you to know that what you put into your education is what you're going to get out of it. To say that I have an associate's degree level of education, I have been afforded and had the opportunity to be able to do some awesome things. I've taught at Virginia College for 2 years prior to this in their medical assistant program. I've traveled. I've done the travel nursing for over 5-6 years. So I've got a chance to go a lot of different places, California, Georgia, Alabama, primarily. So just have an understanding of that there are a lot of different avenues that even though your education might be one way, you can always branch out and always think about different other ways that you can use your education, and that your education will allow you to be able to open up doors or go through doors that not having one will basically leave that door closed. Do that make any sense? All right. So I want to kind of like interact with you guys as well. Do anybody have any fears or any concerns that they have, like, as of right now, just thinking about the future as of right now? Everybody cool with?
Y'all telling tales.
I know y'all love.
Anybody?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
A nursing school and so, and passing, because I know that sometimes you have to make a certain percent to like go on to the next.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of worried about that and how it may make me feel if I don't do good. Like, I'm kind of concerned about it.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Was everybody able to hear that? Pretty much. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, I'm very transparent. I ain't gonna tell you all my business, but I'm gonna be very transparent. So my last semester I was supposed to graduate in 2003. So I told you I graduated in 2004. So I was supposed to graduate what was it? Fall 2003 in December. Well, all up until then, I got in nursing school 2001, and all through there, I made A's. Get to my last semester, I was pregnant, and the last week of finals, my sister-in-law, she was murdered. And she was murdered here in New Orleans. It was a part of a triple homicide, and that was October of 2003. Literally, she was murdered that Thursday. My last day of clinicals was that Thursday, and I was supposed to start into preceptorship. So we came down here to New Orleans in preparation for my sister-in-law's funeral and everything. And in the whole course of that, I had to take my final. So we went back that next week. I had my final on that Wednesday, and that was the first test that I flunked. But it was a 64, and I had only been like passing because I was just pregnant, not having pregnancy brain and all of the other stuff. Was at 74, right? I made a 64.5 on that final, and it brought my score to literally 74.3. I needed 2 points. I was devastated because I had no job. I'm thinking, ooh, once I get out, it's Christmas time on top of it. I ain't got no job. I'm thinking, ooh, I'm about to graduate. Ooh, I'm about to get this nursing job. Ooh, I'm about to be ready. No. No, not at all. I flunked. I called everybody. I called secondary education, everybody. Nobody would give me a chance to retake nothing. And I'm like, I'm going through such a hard time, da, 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 da. And I'm like feeling down on myself and all of this. I done got all the way here. But still, I had to wipe my tears, put my big britches back up, my big panties on. And that next semester, I had to re-enroll for my last semester. And this is the thing, it didn't even dawn on me that God had fixed it where I was actually able to still graduate the next semester. Some people have flunked and could not make it up until a year later, until that next fall. So God fixed it where I was actually able to take my last class in that spring of the following year in 2004. And that's why I graduated in May in 2004. So the thing is, even if you flunk, even if you fail, as long as you have breath in your body for another day, you have another opportunity to continue to make it work. Don't give up on your goals. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your aspiration, your motives, anything that allows you to live and breathe. Don't give up on it. That's all I can say is don't give up on it. You're going to hit some rough patches. Everything ain't gonna click, everything ain't gonna make sense. I don't care what classes you have, at some point, you're gonna hit one that's like, I don't like this. Either you're not gonna like it or you just not gonna vibe with it, one or the other. But you still gotta hunker down and you gotta put forth the effort and continue and put forth the effort, right? So when you get to the moments when you're like, I don't want to do this no more, you feel like giving up, just kind of remember my voice in the background. It's going to get tough. Remember, it's going to get to the point where you're not able to, or you're trying to figure out, is this worth it? I promise you it's worth it. Anything that you are putting forth or anything that you put forth effort to is worth the struggle. And the reward is going to pay off. It will definitely pay off. The other part I wanted to say relating to that is that I want you to also understand that we all make mistakes. The one thing I had to learn, and I did not learn this until probably almost close to 40, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. We all make mistakes. We all make bad decisions. We all make decisions that may not necessarily be the best for us or pan out for us in the best. But at the end of the day, be the one to forgive yourself. A lot of times we are our own worst enemy. We'll sit there and beat up on our own selves, and we are trying to figure out why did I do that? Just forgive yourself. And just remember, you have breath in your body. You can make it another day. You can make it work, change, do whatever you need to do or figure it out. But you have another opportunity to make it better. Anybody else have any thoughts, fears? It's okay to talk about it. Because at the end of the day, come on, baby.
Right now, I'm very
Whew. My first case that I had coming out of nursing school as a professional, took my test, and my first patient, I had a gunshot victim. And my sister-in-law, she was shot execution style. And that, when I tell you that triggered the snot out of me, I literally had to cry. I'm like, why did he get to live? And my sister-in-law died immediately. One of my first patients immediately coming out of school. You're gonna come across some hard things. But at the end of the day, you have to remember that you're human and that your feelings are valid. Please, everybody know, when you're feeling your feels, feel your feels. Take time to feel to realize what your emotion is and validate how you're feeling. It's okay if a situation brings you to tears, get it out. It's okay if a situation makes you angry, learn how to cope appropriately to your anger. Get what I'm saying? So you're gonna come across emotional situations. The biggest thing is to learn coping skills now while you're in the learning stage, while you're in the foundational aspect of your career, where you can lay that as the foundation. And then you have to realize too that there's going to be a strength that you develop through school. So once you get into the real world, you're not going to be as emotional as you are right now. There's going to be a strength that comes about with your learning, with your education, with your exposure, because you're going to get a lot of exposure during school as well. So all of those things are going to help you, and you use those things to help you become a stronger nurse, a stronger person, and have the ability to be able to navigate through it. Just don't get stuck. Feel your feels. You're gonna have emotion. You're gonna feel things. You're gonna see things. It's okay to accept that, and it's okay to feel that. But even in the moment, and even in that process, you still have to learn how to just navigate your feelings and deal with it appropriately. And then you're going to have people around you that's not dealing with their emotions appropriately. How do you deal with that? How do you deal when people really want to just be a negative Nancy and want to just put a whole damper on your whole situation, your whole work environment, your whole school environment, or your school environment, I should say. So even in the process of all of that, learning coping skills to navigate people, navigate your emotions is going to be the biggest thing. Words of affirmation is one of the biggest things that you can set your day off. And even when you're in moments of stress, saying those things to help remind you of who you are, who you belong to, and why you are where you are. Encouraging yourself to remind yourself that, hey, I put in the work, I belong here. You're going to have people that's going to make you feel like you don't belong. Even though you have done the work, even though you have taken the test, even though you have done everything to validate that you belong in that setting, you're going to have people that are going to make you feel like you don't belong here and that you belong somewhere else, wherever that is. You don't belong in that atmosphere with them. So even with that, you have to learn how to navigate, pick your battles, right? Y'all done heard that before, pick your battles. Learn how to pick your battles, because everything ain't you don't have to buck at everything. So at the end of the day, you need to just have an understanding. And like I said, all of this you're going to also learn through the process of your education and getting through school as well. Did I answer that all right? Did I answer you okay, darling? And the reason why I'm asking about your fears is because, for one, this is a setting of your peers. And at the end of the day, nobody don't really care. But we're here because we really do care. We really do. We really are concerned about how you're going to navigate your career, how you're going to navigate the real world after all of this, and even while you're in school as well, and setting the foundation for you to be healthy in the long run. Any other fears? Yes, sir. Hmm? As far as when you said, one more time, hold on. Okay. What are some of the things that you like to do? Okay. Is that something that you have instrumented or put in your daily routine? When do you work out? Okay. So what do you do to relieve your anxiety, or what helps to relieve your the anxiety when you're dealing with if you're not running, that you can think of, like, kind of off the top of your head? Meditating. Have you started incorporating that on a daily basis? Okay, I'm a person who also deals with anxiety as well. And I'm gonna tell you that my son wants me to tell y'all about a story, because I don't incorporate all these things like I should as well. So I'm not just talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself as well, because I also want to remember that I'm human, and that I also need to incorporate and be mindful, and I need to be healthy as well. So what do you want to say? With saying within.
About what?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like all the things that I've been introducing you to, the different mindfulness techniques, the breathing, the affirmation, the counseling, all of those things are going to be tools that you can use to help you through your journey, which is why I'm trying to force them on you now, because I want you all to be in a better position than we are. I'm not in medicine right now because I don't like people. I don't like the people. I don't want to know nothing about nobody's nothing. Don't tell me what you eat. Don't tell me when it started, because I don't care. So We try to avoid having you get to that point. So if you can do some of these things, the more you do it, the more you learn about other things, but you have to be consistent about it and do it on a regular basis. That doesn't necessarily mean every day, but it means making sure that you're more consistent than not.
And then cognizant of it as well. Because anxiety is not going to go anywhere. You get what I'm saying? So learning, just having some tools in your repertoire to be able to pull on when you're having those anxious moments. And the biggest thing for me, and even now, I have to breathe. I literally woosah, rub my ears. I'll sit there and pray, Lord Jesus. So,
And you cuss.
like a sailor. Woo, like a sailor. Let me tell y'all about this story. Let me tell y'all right quick. So my son, my 19-year-old, wanted me to tell y'all about what I did. So I brought them to go and get their ID on Monday. So I get in there, and the man who's standing there, I kind of like lit into him immediately, a little bit, because he told me, he was like, oh, because we went Friday and we got there at like 4:38. The place don't close till 5. He comes out there all sporty. Oh, you need to be here before 4:30. They start processing at 4:30. It's 4:30, 8:30. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. So we came on back Monday. I said, hello, how you doing, sir? So we trying to go ahead and register. So he's like, oh, you need this, you need that, and you need the other. And so he was kind of getting a little sporty with me. Then I'm like, I said, that's interesting. I said, you know what? I should have came back in here at 4:28. Oh no, if you would have came in here at 4:28, you wouldn't have been able to be processed. Da. So I'm like, well, that's not what you said on Friday. You said that I needed to be here by 4:30 to be processed. So you telling me if I'd have came in here at 4:28, you wouldn't have been able to get processed. Yada, yada, yada. Oh, okay. Well, sir, I'm gonna need y'all to mean what y'all say what y'all mean, because on Friday I had called these people and they tell me, oh, hey, we don't close till 5 o'clock. So I'm thinking y'all sit up there and y'all do IDs all the way up to 5 o'clock. You ain't tell me y'all stop processing at 4 o'clock. Then when I get to you on Monday, oh, you gonna tell me y'all stop processing 10 minutes before 4:30. So I'm like, come on now, get your story straight. So this lady in the back, she saw me kind of like getting jazzy with old boy. So she comes up, I can help. I can take your information. I said, no, ma'am. I said, he said he asked me for my information. I said, I'm not giving you my information. I said, I'm giving it to him. Let him finish doing what he was supposed to do with me. No, thank you. So she went on to the babe. I'm like, okay, shit. But me and old boy, we vibing, even though he taking it on the chin. Like, come on. He was like, no, I'm all right. She good. I'm all right. I'm like, okay. So she disappeared. So I'm like, I'm mad at this point, because she tells him, hey, you can go ahead and take your break. I'll go ahead and finish it. So at this point, I'm petty. I got time today for it. So I leave out because I'm fussing and I'm cussing. So I leave out to go wait, but I'm peeping in the window looking to see if she done came out to relieve this man on this break that she wanted to, make this man go on, take his break so she could deal with me. Fast forward, my son had to leave. Him and his dad had to leave to go get some other stuff. So by the time they come on back, they come in to meet me and my oldest son. We go in there together. And I see her, the black guy, he did something else. The lady, she's literally standing in the back. She sees us come in there and she ain't say nothing. I'm just looking at her and I kind of just stand there, I ain't say nothing. So my ex-husband, he walks in the door. This thing comes out the, how may I help you? I was like, ain't there something? I was like, I know, I'm talking loud, but you know how you talking to somebody, but you turn your head and be like, I know she just saw us come in here, me and you standing in here together, but she gonna ask your daddy what he need. This thing gonna take, well, you just said, well, you didn't want my help earlier. I said, ma'am, you were rude. I said, I was already sitting up there. I said, I was already being handled, being taken care of. I said, you was very rude. And she didn't say have nothing to say after that. So I go in the back, get my son's. We go ahead, we get his ID and all that kind of stuff. So we come out the door. She's standing there with some other lady right there in the little front lobby. And as we're going out the door, I was like, bitch. And my son right behind me, he was like, mama, I heard you. I was like, you did? Mama, I know she heard you too. I was like, good. All right. That's all I wanted. But so my point is that I'm not always mindful. I'm not always on, what is the word? Calm.
Best behavior.
Yeah, I'm not on my best behavior. I do have road rage as well. So even if you have, anybody got road rage in here? Ooh, Lord have mercy. Ooh, how much more time we got? Oh, I got one more, huh?
20 minutes.
20 minutes? Jesus Christ, that's a lot of time. Okay, well, I'm gonna give y'all one more story about my road rage. So now I live in Auburn, Alabama. We all black in here? Any white? Half white? Half white? Hey, my people. Hey, my people. There's no, just want to make sure, I know my audience. Mhm. So, okay. I was going to the dentist and I have a thing about I'm not on time. I'm one of these people who think I got more time than I really have. So I'm always late for everything. So I'm literally going down the street, going 60 miles an hour to get to my dentist appointment. So I'm like 5-7 minutes away, right? So don't judge me. I feel like judgment is in the air. But anyway, it was a 45. So I'm going 60 behind, going 60. So I get behind this little chick. She's like, putting on her brakes. And you know how they kind of get on your nerves when people just start putting on your brakes because you're behind them. Drive. Why are you like looking in the mirror with me or whatever? So anyway, she literally, she turns, she gets the little chick, she turns and she gets in front of or she turns in the driveway or car wash or whatever. So when I pass her up, the girl literally, she flips her middle finger at me. She flips her middle finger at me and then she actually kind of backed out, and then thought she was gonna come behind me. So I'm like, I just stopped the car. But that was enough to scare the white girl to the point where she backed up and turned around and went the other direction. So I'm just saying, just be careful with the road rage. And I know that was something I should not have done because it could have been bullets and all kind of crazy stuff that you've been seeing. So like I said, we want y'all to be better, better than better than us and use, learn now before, you have to, so you don't end up in the penitentiary where I'm not trying to be. So since I done told y'all a little bit too much about myself at this point, anybody else have any other concerns about yeah, you next.
After this long process, I graduated and I started working in a hospital. I didn't know what to do. I don't remember nothing.
You are right about that. You are so right. You are not going to remember nothing and it is not going to make sense because what you learn in school and then when you have to apply that in the real world is so different. Oh my God, it's so different. So what I will tell you is this, when you're doing clinicals and anytime you have hands-on, skill sets and all of that thing, do it. If somebody say, hey, do anybody want to put a catheter in? Hey, do anybody want to do this, do that? Make sure you're not even just putting your hand up, you are being the first one to go and do it. Because the way nursing school is right now and the way the society is right now, they're pumping out nurses without hands-on experience. The amount of time that you've been able to get or the times that you were able to get more clinical and hands-on experience in the past is getting littler and I know that ain't a word, but it's littler and littler, it's getting very scant where you're getting hands-on before you get out of school. The problem with that is that you can kill somebody. Not only can you kill somebody, you can mess up your own career with not knowing and not having an understanding of it. The autonomy that you get as a nurse and basically as you in your profession, the autonomy that you get, you can literally hang your own self with that autonomy. So the biggest thing is when you're doing anything that you're doing, make sure you know why you're doing it. If you do not know why you're doing it, don't do it. If somebody tells you, hey, do X, Y, Z. If you're not comfortable with doing it, don't do it. That's your license on the line. That's your career that is on the line. And guess what? If anything happens where you're pulled in court, they're not going to ask you about, oh, well, when they ask you, why did you do this? Or what was the reason you did this? You can't say, oh, nurse X or this person told me to do something. It's not going to hold up. You're accountable and responsible for your own actions. So anytime that so that's basically the biggest thing. Have an understanding. Knowledge is key. When you're going through this, the whole process of schooling is not going to start clicking and making sense until basically the last little bit, if that make any sense. You're going to get this little piece here, this little piece here, that there, that there, that there. And then not until that last maybe 3 to 6 months of schooling where it's all going to be pieced together. So for you, the biggest thing is having an understanding so all those pieces can come together. And even with that, you're going to still, before you even get to that point, you're still going to have your NCLEX to take. So with passing NCLEX, it does give you a confidence to go out there in the world to at least get started. You get what I'm saying? So like I said, just going back, your schooling is going to help give you that confidence. Your testing is going to also give you that confidence, but you continue to learn, you continue to educate yourself. And then at the end of the day, don't do anything that you're not comfortable with doing and that you have not done or have not at least have the skill set for, or making sure that it's in your scope of practice. Another thing I will say for nurses or anyone who's going into nursing, learn your nursing rules and regulations for the state that you're providing care in. It's very important that you're aware of the rules and regulations with nursing. And at the end of the day, nobody's going to tell you what they are. So it is, you have to be you have to be independent enough to also find out what your scope of practice is. It's not going to be necessarily covered in school. So you have to learn the laws and the laws of which your parameters meet, or, your skill set is structured around. And that's going to be on your own head to do that.
If I can add one thing. So those of you who are not going into nursing, all of the information that she's saying still applies. When I was in medical school, I had an upperclassman tell me that once I got into clinic, even though I was considered a secondary, so in my school, it was a tier. It was secondary, it was when you first came in, you don't have a whole lot of responsibility, you're just watching. And then the next year, you're a primary, you're leading. They told me as a secondary, volunteer for everything. Because one, the instructors know that you don't know very much, so they're going to be a lot more lenient with you. Two, you'll get more experience than those people that are hanging back. And that's going to be extremely valuable. So what she's saying actually applied for me. So make sure that you are doing that. The other thing is, when I first got into practice, I was in clinic and I was excited because I'm Dr. Hamilton. First patient came, I said, oh shit. I need an adult here, adult. I don't know what to do. Somebody was like, Dr. Hamilton, what you doing? My first thought was, let me go ask my supervisor. But I have no supervisor because I was the doctor. So that moment happens. You have to talk yourself off the ledge. Just know it probably will happen for the majority of y'all, but y'all can get through it. So have your oh shit moment and do what you need to do to get through it. But it does happen.
And the thing about it is happening more often than not. That's the biggest thing. What you say, Mama? Mm-hmm. That's gonna be hard, because it's gonna be a point in your life where you're gonna want to grind. You're gonna want to make the money. You're gonna want to just get it all. You know what I mean? You see them contracts out there. You see this. You see, if you see the bling. You see the money. You see the dollar sign. Prioritize. Prioritizing is the biggest thing to have in a balance of work life and a healthy work-life balance. Making sure that you put yourself up here and your loved ones up under you. I would say if you're atheist, if you're whoever, whatever, put it up first here, then you, and then everything else comes up underneath, and figure that out as far as the priority in your life, or how that looks and reflects in your life. Because at the end of the day, that work balance, that work life is going to be what you make it. Society is going to tell you, hey, you need to do this. You need to work that many hours. You need to have that. You need to do this. But it's up to you how you structure your life and how you want it to look. So at the end of the day, I will say this: make sure that you prioritize what it looks like for your healthy work-life balance, and implement that. So people are going to want you to do what they want you to do. And that's when you have to stand up for yourself. That's when I say pick your battles, right? That's one of them times where you want to pick your battle, to stand up for yourself and make that battle be known and win that battle. When it comes down to making sure that you have a healthy work life, a healthy off work life as well. Because even then also know that even when you're talking about healthy work-life balance, you got to also remember toxic lives or toxic situations when it comes down to work being toxic. So you got to also make it a point where you want to make every effort to be in an atmosphere that's not toxic, in making your home life not toxic as well. Do that make sense? Or alleviating toxic things in your home life and work life. So if you got to leave a job because it's just too toxic, then you might have to do that along the way. But what I'm saying is be open to change, and being open to being able to be open to having to restructure your life if it is causing you pain, discomfort, if it's unbalanced. Be okay to make a change. Do that make sense? Did I answer that okay?
If I can add one thing, boundaries. You'll have to set boundaries
Jesus
not
Christ.
only for other people, but also for yourself. Know when to say no, know when to say yes. If you say you're gonna go to bed at a certain time, make sure you go to bed at a certain time. If you say, I'm only gonna do this much and I'm not gonna go beyond, set those boundaries and remember those boundaries. That's gonna be helpful. But it's hard to set them. So start now so that you can practice saying no and you can get good at it.
Yeah, no is not a bad word. No is a very healthy word, and it took me to my 20s to be able to say no, because I felt like I had to say yes to everything that was being asked of me. So saying no and implementing boundaries is healthy, and it is a good thing to be able to do as well.
We have time for one more question, comment, fear. I need one person. Come on, somebody.
Yeah. No, I want to hear what you, but no. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Come on. We got two. Come on, hurry up. Come on.
So how did you decide, like this is for you, how you doing the next steps? Like enjoying like talking to other people outside of just your person day to day.
I'm gonna be honest with you. For me, it's been nothing but the Lord, and just me asking the Lord to guide my footsteps and to go before me, straighten my crooked path, and just go before me. So that's why I was saying the opportunities that I've been able to have, even with my degree, has opened a lot of doors that I never would have thought. So I'm just gonna say that's why, and that's why I say putting the higher one first and praying, staying humble, staying open. And I would say this too: always be in an atmosphere of being able to be taught and being receptive to learning. that will open up many more doors as well. When you're open and you're ready. And the thing about it is when you're thinking, when it comes down to God, God's thoughts are not our thoughts. His thoughts are way higher than our thoughts. So he will definitely put you in places that you would have never expected to be. And he will definitely equip you, and he will provide and give you all the things on the inside of you. The one thing I will say this is that, how do you know you're proficient at something if you're never tested? Do anybody know? So that means you're going to have to go through tests. You're going to be tested to know you're proficient at what you're at anything, okay? One more. I mean, some of that last little bit. We got one more minute. This, being able to talk to y'all, being able to educate and being able to share my experiences with you guys so that you can learn from it, not have to repeat, build a stronger foundation that I had. And then just the fact of, I feel great of being a woman of color, being able to do this as well, because to be honest, I didn't see a lot of color, to be honest. So that's what makes me happy, being able to provide care. And even though I'm not hands-on at a bedside right this moment, I'm caring for you guys. So.
Last person, we have 2 minutes. Anybody have anything real quick? If you want to know, if you want to add? No? All right, thank you, Nurse Hatfield.
Oh, and another reason why I'm staying in nursing is because the crippled stripper pole is really, it's kind of difficult. So I'm gonna keep on with the nursing and stay off the cripple.
On her side, as a side gig though, just know that.
That crippled stripper pole.
Cripple stripper pole. So, just to, before we go, remember also to experience things. Like the more experiences you have, the more you're exposed to, so you can see what you like and what you don't. You can incorporate that into your career and into your life. With that being said, don't forget that the anger management seminar workshop is today. It's posted. So those of you who have anger management issues,
Stay out the penitentiary. Road rage. I saw some hands.
Those of you who know somebody with anger management issues, y'all need to go so you can know how to help them people. So keep that in mind. Also, again, remember that the quiz is all day. It's going to be open until 11:59. If you forget, too bad, so sad. I'm not reopening unless you have an excuse by academic affairs. Any final questions? All right, one more time. Thank you, Mr. Andrews.
Yay, thank y'all. Love you guys. And